Hey, sixth grade, good morning. This is your math lesson for Wednesday, April 29th. We will be grading some of lesson 161. Lesson 162 is due for Thursday, April 30th. It is basically self-explanatory. Check out the compound measures in reading problems, but I think that you can figure that out. So make sure that lesson 162 is finished for Thursday. You may have noticed that lesson 163 is not in your schedule, and I did not see that until the schedule was all done, and so I did not change anything there. You do not have to do lesson 163 if you have not done it yet. But we will talk about scale drawings at the end of this lesson, because you will need to know how to do scale drawings. It's not that complicated, but there are scale drawings that come up in lessons after this. So, have your paper for lesson 161. Let me give you these answers, and please, if you're not getting these compound measures right, the last video that I did has a number of compound. One of the last math videos I did has a review of compound measures. It would be dated, I think, April 27th, lesson 159. All right, so check that out, because I have a number of compound measure problems on there. We'll do a couple more today too. But here are some answers from lesson 161. Number 1, the answer is 2 pounds, 13 4/5 ounces. 2 pounds, 13 4/5 ounces. Number 2 is 6 dozen, 1 3/4 items. Number 3, 126 gallons. Number 4, 97 pounds, 2 ounces. Number 5, 15 yards, 6 inches. Number 6, 7 miles, 1,140 yards. Number 7, 5 kilometers squared equals 500 hectares. Number 8, 540,000 meters squared equals 54 hectares. Know the relationship of those numbers with each other. Go back to that lesson 155 to figure those out. Number 11, if one picture stands for 10 acres, how many acres do 3.5 pictures stand for? 3.5 times 10, 3.5, or 3.5 times 10 would be 35 acres. Number 12 and 13 we are going to do on the board, just to review these a little bit, make sure we know what the proportions look like to solve them. 47 is what percent of 50? How do you write that as a proportion? The watt is your missing number, right? So you have number over number and percent over percent. 47 is what percent? So that's your missing number. P, percent, is your missing number. And that's always over 100, right? 47 is what percent of 50? Let's just do this the same for both of them. The watt is your missing number, so let's make a W. All right? And then solve the proportion. You have 50W equals 100 times 47, right? Do we know that? This is multiplication, cross multiplication. 100 times 40. 50 times W is supposed to equal 100 times 47. So 100 times 47, let's just put that down right away, 4,700. Now you're dividing 50 times W, so 50 divided by 50 gets rid of the 50s. All you have left is W, 4,700 divided by 50. You can hack a 0 off. 5 into 470. 5 into 47 is 9. So W equals 9. 5 into 47 is 9. That gives 2 left, 20, 94. W equals 94, and it's what percent? So you should have percent as your thing there. 94%. Yes. All right. That is number what? That's number 12 on your lesson. 94%. Number 13. What is, so there's your what. This would be your what, and yeah. So what is 40% over 100 of 125? All right? That is the proportion for number 13. So then you have 100W equals, what's 125 times 40? 125 times 40 would be 0, 0, 2, 0, 1, 5,000. Is that right? What is 40% of 125? So then you divide by 100, get rid of the 100, so all you have left is W. Divide this by 100, hack 2 zeros off. 50 divided by 1 is 50, and that is not a percent. 13, W equals 50. All right, so that's 12 and 13. Let me give you a couple more answers. Number 19, solve the circumference if you have a radius of 35 yards. What is the what is the formula for solving the circumference? Diameter times pi, 3.14 times diameter. So in this case, first of all, you go 35 times 2, right? 35 times 2 is 70, and then you go 70 times 3.14 for number 19, giving you an answer of 219.8 yards. #21, interest. Larry borrowed $32,000 for 3 years at 4% interest. So your equation should be 32,000 times 3 times 0.04. Okay, if you're getting the wrong answer on these, that's what this is. 32,000 times the time, 3 times the interest, 4%. Remember the decimal is 0.04 for 4%. Your answer for number 21 is $3,840. All right, let's just do a couple compound measure ones, and then I will talk to you a little bit about scale drawings. Scale drawings, actually I'll do that while I'm erasing. Scale drawings is a drawing where you have inches equals 1 inch equals 15 yards, or 1 inch equals 10 feet. All right. So in your book, when you're doing these scale drawings, you will have to measure. You will have a rectangle or a square or something. All right. that is what the frame of your building, that's the measurements for your building. Your scale is 1 inch. 1 inch equals 15 feet. Okay, so you simply measure to the nearest inch. There's a proportion that you can do to figure these out, but I'm not even going to stress the proportion now because your scales are always, next year your scales will be 1/8 inch equals so many feet. And then we will use the proportion. Here I think they're always even. 1 inch equals an even amount of feet. All right, there's not many half inch. So here we have 12, about 15 inches. So you measure, this is 15 inches, and this is about 7 inches. 7 inches, all right? So your scale drawing will be how many feet long and wide. So 15 times 15, 1 inch, you have 15 inches. 1 inch equals 15 feet. So go 15 times 15 to get the length, and 15 times 7 to get the width. Okay, understand? So just do those two multiplication problems, and your answer, you need two answers. You need a length and a width answer, excuse me. All right, so 15 times 15 gets how long it is, and that will be in feet. Your answer then will be in feet. 15 times 15, whatever that answer is, feet. 15 times 7, whatever that answer is, in feet. That'll be your length and your width of your real building then, or whatever it is that you're making. All right? Do a couple compound measures yet, and then I will let you go. 3 days, 20 hours. Divided by 6. Work on this one. And I'll put a multiplication on the board too. 8 miles, 4,250 feet. Oh, why did they do such a big one, right? 8 miles, 4,250 feet divided by 5 maybe. Not divided by, times. Sorry. Times 8. All right? Do the division one. If the number of large units cannot be divided by 3 cannot be divided by 6. Okay, 3 is smaller than 6. So change 3 days into hours right away. Change days into hours. So 3 days, how many hours in a day? 3 times 24, right? 24 times 3 is what? 72. So 3 days equals 72 hours. Okay? There will be no days label in this one. Add the 72 hours to here. 92 hours. And now this is being divided by 6. So you're going 6 into 92. Your label is only going to be hours. 6 into 9 is 1, right? 1 times 6. 6 into 32 is 5. And you're going to have 2 left over. 2 6, make it a fraction. 2 6 reduced is 1/3. 15 1/3 hours is your answer. Okay? You cannot do 3 divided by 6, so just turn the days into hours right away. Add the hours to the hours that you have. Divide that number by 6 to get your answer. Okay? Don't forget, you're dividing this number here by 6. It can be a little confusing because the number you're dividing is way down here, not up here somewhere. Okay? That is how you do that one. 8 miles, 4,250 feet times 8. Multiply. 0, 0, 4, 16, 20, 32 to 334. 34,000 feet. 8 times 8 is what? 64 miles. All right? Divide your feet by how many feet in a mile. Okay? And here's, hopefully you don't get too many of these, right? Where you have four digit divisors, but it's not that horribly complicated. 5,280 into 34,000. All right, how many times does 5 go into 34? 5 into 34 is about 6. Let's try 6 once. I would say that is what it's going to be. 7 will be too high. I think 6 will work. So we have 6. That is going to be miles. That will be added to this then. Okay? So we have 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 8, 48. 4, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 31. Right? Subtract that. 0, 2, 9 minus 6 is 3, 3,320. Sorry, this needs to be borrowed 2,000. Okay, your remainder is feet, 2,000. Okay, you're done with feet. You don't add or anything there. That goes away. Your remainder is feet. You add 6 plus 6 would give you 70 miles, 2,320 feet. 70 miles, 2,320 feet. All right? All right? Excellent. Make sure lesson 163 is finished, not 163. 162 is finished for Thursday, the 30th. And think about 164, 165 are basically review. We'll talk a little bit about them tomorrow. 164 and 165, the odds are what I'm going to want handed in this weekend. So carefully do 164 and 165. That is what I will be grading. All right. Good day.